Is it the year of the tortoise, or is it the year of the turtle, or is it the year of the hare, or maybe it's just TMT power year? It's a power year for turtles. We've gotten 2 games. First, we got Shredder's Revenge, which is a whole new take on the 80s games that we grew up with, like 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And now we're getting the second game, the Cowabunga collection. All of the past games that you probably heard, and maybe some that you haven't heard about, in one package. Yeah, so it brings back the nostalgia for us 1980s kids. You know, the warmth, the inner glow of like childhood past. So pretty much it came out like a month ago, and there was a lot of hype for it. And I heard a lot of people pre-ordered like the special edition, which is like an extra $70. And yeah, you get these like dioramas, like pretty basic dioramas, paper dioramas. So in my opinion, the extra $70, like, unless you have money to throw around, it probably wasn't worth it. But oh well. This has all the games that you pretty much saw in the arcades growing up, or you probably saw at somebody's house while you were deep into TMNT growing up as a fanatic. And it has all the classic Game Boy games, the classic NES games, the arcade games, which you probably played or at least heard about, Sega Genesis games, Super Nintendo, and all of the Game Boy games. So there's 13 games in all. It's got the original games and sound effects. So unlike the repackaged games that came out as bonus games with like past Turtles like TMNT, Battle Nexus, where they packaged the game but they was missing the original sound effects, everything here is the way pretty much you remembered it and then some. So it costs $50, but considering that you get 13 games, like Game Boy, etc., Super Nintendo, all the arcade games, it's kind of pricey in my opinion, but at the same time, you are getting a lot of games, and like it's really hard to find these games if you're just looking for the original cartridges. So it's like $25 over the Shredder's Revenge. So it was a little bit of shock for me, to have to admit, but it's well worth it if you've never played these games before, or if you want to play them for the millionth time. Yeah, so there's a number of features that come with this. You can save at any time, so it's super convenient. You can change the button mapping. You can see the developmental art that went into making the game, the sketches, and like there's even historic TMNT content in this that you otherwise would have never seen if you hadn't bought this collection. Honestly, like I feel like the content, the historical content alone, makes it well worth just to try this out. And even if you're not a huge fan, it's still pretty cool to see what it takes and what goes into making a video game. And there's just so much content in here that you could spend quite a while just going through it all. And then it's great that you can also play these games with your buddies now, because as I said, they're hard to find considering it's been so long since they originally got released. So I feel like being able to play with your friends now is icing on the cake for this collection. A lot of these games are out of print, as I said. They're ridiculously expensive and hard to find. But yeah, I personally feel like a little bit of the essence of the games, playing in the arcade is way different than playing it again at home. But I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't mind because at least they get the chance to play the games now. It's just my minor gripe is for a compilation that like combines so many games together, the extra $25 is quite a bit to pay $50 up front for a collection of games that are like 30 years or so old. But if it means that we're supporting future collections and whatnot, and supporting future Ninja Turtle games, I'm all for it. Other people, apparently, I checked this myself, the servers for playing against other people, I tried to join a game the other night when I was testing it out, and no one was playing any games on any of the arcade titles. Like any of the titles had no one playing, so if I had started my own match, maybe someone may have joined me, but it seems like there's very few people playing online, which is kind of sad considering this game just came out like a month ago, so it's kind of hard to believe no one else is playing across the world. So that's kind of surprising. Also, yeah, I really hope this leads to a collection for future collections, such as like the the GameCube TMNT. Hopefully that gets re-released. All those games that Konami brought out, the 3D ones. Hopefully, if this game collection sells well, we'll see further ones in the future. But yeah, I'd say this is definitely the best compilation I've seen in years. People have been waiting for this for, I would even say, decades, and I can't remember the last time that there were this many games put together with this much cool artwork and other extra bonus features, and it's a really polished release for sure. I'd say it's not been since like the Ninja Gaiden Remastered release have I seen this many cool games released in one go and polished well, and before that I can't remember the last time. So yeah, I would give this still a 9 out of 10. Like, it's very well polished. It's a shame with the servers, so it seems like you're gonna have to play locally with your buddies rather than playing online with your buddies, just because of the way that they've set up this game. So that's a shame for people that have to play online and trying to play with friends online. I don't think that's going to happen just from the way that they've designed this. You can't like choose really who to play against, unfortunately. But for people that have been waiting just to try these games for years and years, it's well worth it. So I would say get a copy before you lose the chance to get one, because I can see this getting a limited release and then you won't be able to see it in 6 months or maybe a year. So anyways, keep on gaming and keep the TMNT power going and keep on gaming. Bye.